Hey friends, the following is the first story I ever read on TikTok. This is the story that led to the Reddit rainbow, which in turn led to Vibes and Delights. I hope you guys enjoy. Hey friends, I'm gonna read you one of my favorite Reddit posts. It's an absolute chef's kiss. A glorious moment of, oh, how the turns have tabled. And so we begin. We weren't in a serious relationship when she got pregnant, and she has never met our son. Even after birth, she had no desire to see him. We went to court to figure custody and support could be figured out, and I have 100% full legal and physical custody. Her name is on the birth certificate, but she has no custody and no education decision. She didn't want any of that. Every month she pays 125% of the court-ordered child support. She says that if I ever marry someone who wants to adopt him, she will agree. But until then, she'll pay support. And it's been that way since our son was born. Some of y'all already know. I'm raising our son all on my own. He is 18 months now and has never met her, and I don't even have any photos of her even. I am burned out and hate being a single parent. I love my son, but I resent him. My family tries to help when they can, but I do it most of the time. I would never hurt or neglect him, but I am exhausted all the time. I tried to go to court to give her split custody, but because she wanted an abortion and I didn't, and she made it clear she would never be involved after the birth, and because we went to court when he was 6 months old, but because we already went after he was born and agreed on things, and now she pays more support than is court ordered, the judge says he can't force her to look after him. I haven't seen her in almost a year, and the last I heard she has a tummy tuck and laser stretch marks treatment and is working at a gym. She also told her friends and family that she is an egg donor and not a mother. She is a deadbeat mom. And the court won't do anything and is forcing me to struggle as a single parent. Do I have any legal remedies, Eric? This person got wrecked. I only have time for one though. Let me know if you want to hear any more. So let me get this straight. You resent the child you forced someone else to bring into the world under the condition that you be the sole caregiver. You want to force someone who does not want anything to do with this child to share caretaking? First of all, why would you want to damage your child like that by forcing them to spend time with someone who wants nothing to do with them? That doesn't make you a very good father at all. Second, why are you calling her a deadbeat? How can you call someone you forced to give birth under the condition that she has nothing to do with the child when she pays more than the required child support? And third, no! The courts will not force someone who wants nothing to do with the child to take care of them other than financially, because that would endanger the child. That post always cracks me up. I hope it made you laugh. I love you. Hey friends, 2 videos, same energy.
Betrayal, yeah, stab in the back. Betrayal, yeah, I'm stretched on the rack. Betrayal, yeah, thrown out of the
pack.
Thrown out of the pack.
What are you doing in there? Come on, we gotta get on the road.
Just a minute! They never pick their friends. They never pick their friends. They never pick their friends.
Hey friends, and welcome back to the Reddit rainbow. I sure hope you've re-upped because we're back with a second story called My Boyfriend Asked for a Paternity Test. As soon as the results show he's the father, I'm leaving him. This one has a lot of the same themes of our last story, but in this story, as said by the title, she left. Let's jump in. I'm a new mom to a baby boy who is my pride and joy, and though it's been a roller coaster adjusting to taking care of a baby, the past few months have been great, tiring, but great. I have a boyfriend of 3 years who is the first person, relationship-wise, I have ever loved. I thought we were doing great as new parents, but also as partners. Friday, he came home and asked me for a paternity test. Okay. Just like that. It was completely out of the blue. I was putting away the dishes when he asked for one, like he was asking what was for dinner. I'm a different race from him. Our child, apart from the skin tone, is literally his mirror image from pictures I'd seen of him when he was a baby. I was stunned when he asked. His reasons were that he had to be sure that he was the father. He had to have that certainty. All I remember as he was speaking is just immediately feeling pain. The man I love doesn't trust me. He would actually believe that I would have relations with someone else, cheat on him, and then try to pass off another man's baby as his. That's some podcaster bullshit. I have never ever given him reason to think I would cheat on him. I have tried to be transparent and communicated, and it wasn't enough. He told me he would give me time to think about this, that he wouldn't go behind my back and do this test, but for our relationship to move forward, he needs to be 100% sure. He repeated this because he, in his words, needed me to realize how serious he was. After thinking for a couple of days, I'm going to allow him this paternity test because I have nothing to hide. I never cheated and would have never cheated on him. Once it's proven that he's the father, I'm ending it, leaving the same day, and I'm going to try my best to be a cooperative co-parent with him. In the meantime, I'm coming up with my exit plan, a place to live and a lawyer to work out a custody arrangement and court. I can't even tell my family or friends right now because they would go nuclear, and my first priority is our child. I hope this test was worth it to him. I'm not asking for advice or reassurance or to explain his side. I'm just realizing this part of my life is now over. What a way to start the new year, huh? And that's the end of the first part of this post. I didn't realize how long this was until I started making the slides. Don't go too far. I'll be right back with part 2. We just read a post called, "My boyfriend asked for a paternity test. As soon as the results show he's the father, I'm leaving him." Well, the OP wrote an update called, "We did the paternity test my boyfriend wanted." I'm not recapping today, so if you are new here, start at the beginning. But if you're all caught up, let's keep going. My post was removed, so I'm going to post it here. It's been a couple of weeks since I posted, and I've just been navigating things after. I'm going to call my boyfriend Mason just to keep things clear, and this is going to be long. I'm sorry. Okay. Also, why post on Reddit? I don't know, guys. I don't know. To clarify a few things, we're different races, but to my knowledge, his family plus extended is more than okay with it. His mother actually set us up. I went to a dinner party and he and I were the only single people who had been invited, and we hit it off. She admitted to trying to set us up for months. Aw. I low-key think the family is black. Like earlier, OP mentioned that he wanted her to know how serious he was. That's some shit that we would say. But anyway, sorry. We have had no issues with cheating or any situations where things could be sketchy during the years we've been together. We've also not been broken up or taken any breaks. Our son is his mirror image. My boyfriend confided to his cousin about the paternity test a couple days after he asked me, and the cousin told his wife, and it spread like wildfire. Especially in their family group chats. Ooh. His mom put an end to the speculation though by doing a half and half pic of him and our son, but also by adding some additional individual pics of both of them. She posted the pictures in the family group chat and said, "Look at the old pics I found of Mason." Definitely black family. The shade. After people commented, she said, "Actually, the one on the right is my grandchild, or this one isn't Mason." Literally, the family members just thought it was the same person in all the pics, and that some of the photos were taken in darker lighting. Oh, that is how much our son looks like him, which I find funny, but also a little annoying. Like, I carried you for 9 months. Oh my gosh, right? My kids do not look like me. All for you to be a copy of your dad, bro. I didn't see the group chat, but the topic ended when his mom did that. Ooh. Anyway, we talked. When I had made the first post, I was so angry and planned to leave, but the anger was quickly replaced by hurt once I calmed down. I realized that if I blindsided him like that, I would be doing the exact same thing that he did to me when he asked for the paternity test. Do it. I planned to ask him to talk, but I also didn't want him to think I was trying to get out of the test. So beforehand, I booked an appointment at 2 different paternity test locations. I asked him to talk when he came home, and I made sure our child was at my mom's. I told him that whatever happened with this talk, the paternity test had been booked and would go forward. I basically asked him his reasoning and when he started having doubts about paternity. Was it a previous relationship? Did cheating happen? He said it was about a week before he asked me that he started having doubts. He said that he was on his lunch break one day just reading articles, and he clicked on an old article about a man who found out his 3 kids weren't his after like 20 years. This led him into a rabbit hole of podcasters and YouTube videos that encouraged men to ask for paternity tests. Oh man. While he thought those podcasters were idiots, he said that paternity was an exception. He said his reasoning was that some women have done this before and he wanted to be sure. But she hasn't cheated on you. Like, she hasn't let other people into her body. Like, why would you even think that if she's giving you no indication? Have you cheated on her? Like, is that why you're projecting? Maybe because the women that you cheated with were stepping out of their own relationships. Maybe you can't cheat. What? I don't know. Your brain is it's not giving. I think I broke my own brain. Hold on. Okay. He said, you know it's yours because the baby comes out of you, but how do I know? The test gives me that assurance. But, okay. I was hurt by that, but I decided to explain how I felt. I said that for him, it was a rational request, while for me, it was basically him saying that he didn't trust me. It was him saying that he believed I would cheat on him, get pregnant, have him emotionally, financially, and physically support me during the pregnancy and birth, and basically lie to him while he raised another man's child. I told him that I understand that women had done this before, but the fact that he thought I would do that to him is what bothered me. Rational, well put. I told him the truth, that when I was angry, I had planned to leave, and that I even went looking into a lawyer and co-parenting plan and a new place to live. He was stunned that I would leave him for something so small. I told him I was really hurt by what he said, that I was still hurt, but that if he needs this peace of mind, that we would do it. He asked what about our relationship, and I told him I didn't know. We did the test 2 days later, got the results back after 3 days. He opened both of them, and to the surprise of no one, he's the dad. He was visibly relieved when he read the test, and I don't know why that hurt more. It's been about 2 weeks from the results, and I'm still really hurt. Glob, I sound so pathetic. I feel pathetic. I thought the results would maybe relieve some of that, but it didn't. It's like a switch clicked when he asked for the test, and I can't find a way to click it off. I'm pretty sure postpartum is playing a part in this because all I do is cry, and I wasn't like this before. I've also moved into the spare room. What the heck? Something he was against, but I felt bad because apart from when our son is awake, I'm sad all the time. I'm looking for a therapist. I don't know how people find therapists like so quickly, by the way. Oh, I know the answer to that. This may not be helpful for everybody, but it was helpful for me. If you are lucky enough to have insurance through your employer, look into EAP, Employee Assistance Program. It's a mental health program. Basically, you get the first 3 sessions free to see if it's a good fit, and then you keep going with them after that with your regular deductible and shit. But if you call and tell them that you mentally cannot fathom doing that, they will get you to somebody who will help you send a list so that you can make an appointment. They helped Slap and I a couple years ago when I had a breakdown. Anyway, the more you know. Okay, bye. And he wants to do couples therapy, and he's looking for one. He already has a few appointments booked just to try them out. Ooh, I bet you that's exactly what I was just telling you about. Damn. He wants to move on, marriage, more kids in the future, and go back to where we are, and thinks that our relationship is now stronger. Another man thinking that because it's over, that everything's fine. Meanwhile, she's not even sleeping in the same room as you. Oof. While I'm just thinking our relationship right now is weaker than a person on stilts. I don't know if I would say we are together. Ooh. The physical affection is gone. I'm not in the right mindset, and I don't want him to touch me. We rarely talk about anything but the baby. It's awkward. And I'm trying to find my way back to where we were, and I can't see how. I'm going to try to fix this and try therapy, individual and couples. But I just have this feeling that this is basically a sinking ship. I hope I'm wrong. I want very much to be wrong. I really appreciate the kind messages. I know some people are worried, but I have a contingency plan in place. I have a lawyer. I've gotten a child care custody plan worked up during these 2 weeks. I've told my family, who are mostly close by. I have a rental property that I own and can go to. Our finances are separate, so I'm good there. I know myself, and I know I'm not in the right headspace right now. I'm staying in the spare room. There is no affection. Therapy, individual or couples, will hopefully help me and will hopefully reaffirm that I had the right idea in the beginning. Oh, understood. Trying to make sure that she wasn't just like acting on a whim. You know what I'm saying? Understood. No, you're right, friend. It's not as easy to move when there's a child. So I'm making sure that I'm mentally well, our child is good, and then I'll make a decision. Thank you for all your kindness and all your perspectives. I really appreciate it. That is the main ending of the stories, but the OP did come back for one really cryptic update. I left. Things have gone downhill, and under advisement, I really can't discuss it until things have been settled in court. I guess I'm really a cautionary tale on what can go wrong. Please, if you have concerns with your partner, discuss things beforehand, especially before you have a child. Fortunately, OP, people who listen to those podcasts often lie so much that people don't get a choice. And I think that's really fucked up, and I hate that this has happened. Thank you again for your different perspectives, hoping to have everything settled eventually. Good luck out there, OP. I really don't have too much to say on this one. The OP had boundaries and stuck to them, you know what I'm saying? I mostly read it because even though in the last story the OP was okay and this was her choice, she still went 10 years changing the sheets every night. She went 10 years with having to deal with someone she didn't want to have relations with, who she didn't love. That's 10 years she could have literally been doing anything else. You know what I mean? I get it and I respect it. I just wouldn't do it and I wouldn't condone it, if I'm being honest with you. But as I always say in these stories, these people know their situations much better than we ever would. And I own that all the time, but I just couldn't. No. All right, I'm gonna read like one comment because I'm kind of tired. I'm so sorry. Totally understand why you can't update. Wish you the best. Sad to say that after what I've read on Reddit, a lot of men are going to destroy their marriages. And not just Reddit either. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, literally everywhere. Be safe out there. And I love you guys so much. Mwah. Hey friends, and welcome back to the Reddit Rainbow. I hope your day treated you well. It was field day for my kiddos. I miss field day. Tell me in the comments what your favorite field day memory was. Probably the relay races, or maybe like the wet sponge, you know, on the target. Tug of war, maybe some Red Rover. I don't know. Anyway, we have a new story called Am I Wrong for Making My Son Take a Paternity Test? Continuing with that Mother's Day goodness. Grab your vibes and tell me what you're delighting in. And let's jump in. This is a mess, and I would appreciate opinions from unbiased people. Okay. It was recommended that I post here and another page. I, female 39, have 2 kids, male 17 and female 10. When I was 21, I had a one-night stand which resulted in my son Austin, the father, wanting nothing to do with my child. When my son was 3, I met my husband Mark, male 38. My son adores my husband and calls him father. Austin met his current girlfriend through Mark's best friend, Alan, her father. Macy, the girlfriend, and Austin have been close since they were young, and we were all thrilled when we found out they were dating. After we found out, Mark and I sat Austin down and explained we're happy for him, but we needed him to know the importance of safe relations, whether it was happening or not. How did that talk go for y'all? You know, either you administering it to your own children or your parents giving it to you. My mom gave me a book. A book. It said, ask me if you have questions. Traumatizing. He was disgusted. But said, sorry y'all. He was disgusted, but said he understood, and we left it at that. For context, my son is what others describe as shy and soft-spoken. He's really sensitive and takes harsh comments, actions to heart. We thought everything was fine with him until he came home crying. He eventually told us that Macy had cheated on him. Them high school relationships. I was angry and urged my son to leave, but my husband calmed us both and asked to speak with Austin privately. Essentially, he asked Austin what he wanted to do and if he wanted us to stop seeing Macy and her father. Austin said he didn't want that and wanted to work things out with Macy. Why? What you hiding, Dad? I was upset but didn't say anything. Ever since that happened, I've hated seeing her around. All I think about when I see her is my son distressed and crying his eyes out. I act cordial around her, but I don't like her. Around February, Austin came home looking rather upset again, so I sat down with him and asked what's going on. I wasn't expecting to hear him say what he said to me, Macy's Pergananan. I was furious. I told him I expected better from him. I also said that before anything happened, he needed to do a paternity test. He was angry that I suggested she cheated again. Oh my gosh. But I didn't like how she was suddenly pregante. When Mark came home from work, I filled him in and he was equally upset. What? We all sat down and discussed it. Austin explained that I demanded a paternity test was done and Mark wasn't happy to hear that. This dude is so sus. I explained that she's cheated before, she could have cheated again. Right, I'm not good at math, but that maths. That led to a huge argument. Before we all calmed down, I asked if her parents knew. Apparently not. He said she agreed to tell them tonight. And sure enough, about an hour later, Mark gets an angry call from Alan demanding that my son marries his daughter. Y'all are all mad sus. And if Austin refuses, he demands that he pay child support and stay out of this kid's life. Of course, we were all angry and exhausted, so I said that nothing was happening until a paternity test was done and I wasn't taking the word of a cheating little girl. Ooh. He blew up at us and it was radio silence after the call. Macy was told she can no longer see Austin and he took it out on me. A few weeks ago, Alan contacted us and agreed to do a paternity test. Ooh. I asked why the sudden change, but he ignored me. I bet you she fessed up. He said he set up the appointment for May 5th. Austin went with Mark. He said he didn't want to be around me. It stung, and I won't lie, it made me cry when he said that. Results finally came in a few nights ago, and he isn't the father. Ooh. Damn, Mom knew. He was shattered. Instead of apologizing, he was screaming that this was my fault, and he'd have never known. He hasn't. Wait, what? Your mom just saved you, bro. Like, what? If you hadn't known, that would have been. Bro. He's young. He hasn't said much to me since. Maybe I was wrong for making him do a paternity test, but I was only looking out for my son. Was I wrong for making him take a paternity test? No. The intuition on you is crazy. Still sucks for your boy, though. But your husband has all my flags flagging. That's a lot of cheater apologist energy. All right, I'll be right back with comments. Hey friends, and welcome back to the Reddit Rainbow. We just read a story called, Am I Wrong for Making My Son Take a Paternity Test? Son has girlfriend. Girlfriend turns out to be cheater. Son and cheating girlfriend stay together. Cheating girlfriend turns out pergananant. Mom asks for a paternity test and everybody get mad. Mom turns out to be right. Son is not the father. And yet, surprisingly, the OP's husband encouraged the son to keep dating the cheater and was mad when mom was suspicious of whose baby was it. Now let's read some of these comments. You are not wrong. The girl was a known cheater. Your son was an easy mark. He's young, sensitive, and hurt. Pergananancy would have affected his entire life going forward had he been the father. He will appreciate your insistence on the paternity test after he has a chance to sort his emotions. 1,000,000% not wrong. He will appreciate it one day. I'm not sure why your husband was so against the paternity test from the start though, right? Since your husband was against it, your son feels like you're in the wrong for pushing on it. He's just dealing with it with a broken heart right now. Don't take it to heart. Exactly. At 17, my mother got a lot of volatile, displaced anger thrown at her from me. Looking back, I think I raged at her because she was a safe person. I've heard about that. I could never though, like, cause no. By that I mean, even though there may have been consequences to my actions, I knew no matter what, she wouldn't leave or reject me. OP, your son is taking this out on you because he trusts that you love him and will be there for him when the dust settles. As counterintuitive as that may sound, it's safer for him to direct all his pain and anger at you than at the ex-girlfriend. You did the right thing getting a test. Continue to be there for your son as he processes this heavy ordeal, and eventually he'll come to understand. I don't know. I don't know. I know he'll understand eventually, but it just sucks that the OP has to go through the vitriol now. You know, you just wish you can kind of montage through it or something. Emotional montage! Going through the motions at the speed of light. Take it out on my mom because I know she's alright. I don't know. Anyway. Alright guys, that's enough of that. I'll catch y'all in the comment section because y'all know I like reading y'all's thoughts. I'll catch you next time.